Big move in Bitcoin then, in contrast to all the notes I wrote pre-show, which were telling me that this was going to put Bitcoin under pressure.
Yeah, the narrative that perhaps this launch of these political meme coins will sap flows from Bitcoin is showing us that it's really not the case this morning. If anything, it's just accelerated the momentum and the excitement around cryptocurrency under another tough
Hello.
Hi, 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽. What is all this FOMO about? Should I buy Bitcoin now?
Are you smoking your socks? You should rather watch my show. You should rather watch my show.
What is up, legends? Welcome to another live stream. What I dumped from Bitcoin last night while I was sleeping. Let me know if you guys can see me, hear me properly. Let me turn up the volume. Okay, that's a little bit better. Right, got the music in the background. There we go. Right, legends. You can see that I've got my little magnet with my goal over there, right? Because if we tap the 0.618, the bears lose control. So we need to tap that 0.618. And for the bears to stay in control, we need to reject now by the 50% Fibonacci. Okay, so it's as simple as that. Legends, yesterday I did a live stream on a lazy Sunday afternoon. This little wave here to the downside did go a little bit lower than I expected, but the scenario is still intact. That contracting scenario that I discussed yesterday is still intact, and I still do not see this move to the downside as impulsive. I'm sticking to my guns because that is what the technicals are telling me. Okay, I saw messages from people unfortunately liquidating their accounts, big holes in their portfolios. Yes, I also took a knock on my portfolio. Altcoins are not looking great at the moment, especially the altcoin portfolio. But legends, from a trading perspective, I'm smiling. The market is presenting me with opportunities. I actually bought a little bit more this morning, because this morning when I woke up and I saw this crash here to the downside, and we actually tapped the 0.88 here to perfection. When I take a fib from the low to the high, okay, we tapped the 0.88. Let me just take this other fib out the way. We tapped the 0.88 to perfection, and we got the bounce here to the upside. And I was like, okay, well now we have increased the probability, because we tapped the 0.88, to come and take the low. So that is unfortunately now on the cards, but I still don't see the move to the downside impulsive to go to $70,000 and below, right? Or that $80,000 or $70,000, or I see a lot of thumbnails on social media and on YouTube, people saying that the bull market is over. We are now officially going into a bear market. Legends, there is, okay, I want to show you guys this. Let me just calm the nerves and take realistic stock of where we are. When I go onto the 12-hour time frame, okay, and I switch off my little magnet to pull the Bitcoin there to the upside. Now it's most probably going to fall because I took the magnet away. But if we look at this entire structure that we have formed here to the upside, this structure from the low that we've created at $48,908, from this low to the high that we've created over here, this beautiful impulsive structure here to the upside. Okay, let's just take stock of where we are, and then I will analyze the local scenario as exactly what I did yesterday, and I'm still sticking to my guns. It's still not impulsive to the downside. Okay, so legends, you have to acknowledge, okay, when I take a Fibonacci, and I will say hi to the beautiful community in a moment, smash up the like on your way in. If I take a Fibonacci here from the low to the high that we've created, and I look at this structure that we have formed, for anyone realistically with a little bit of common sense to say that we are going into a bear market, there is a lot that needs to happen here before we can call for a bear market. In fact, the lower price goes, the more bullish it is for Bitcoin. Why? Why, Dewald? Why would you still be bullish at $66,000 and especially $58,000? Why would you still be bullish at these levels? Because after an impulse, if you have a deeper correction to the downside, guess what happens? After an impulse and you have a corrective structure to the downside, you get another leg back to the upside. So in actual fact, okay, the more bearish Bitcoin becomes here to the downside, the more bullish it is, because what if, okay, and I need to zoom out for this scenario over here. If this is, okay, let me just quickly do this little structure over here. Okay, let me just quickly do this little structure. If this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, the fifth wave also needs to have 5 waves inside of it. But I can tell you guys now that there's a lot that needs to happen before we can call for a bear market. So regardless of how you count the structure here from the bottom, I'm now going to look at this structure over here. Okay, so let me take the scribble here out the way. Let's just zoom back in. Just put that back to where it belongs. Legend, the one thing that we have to realize is that what if, okay, I have to zoom in for this scenario. What if this is the formation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically what I'm seeing over here, okay, is that the deeper the correction goes, the more bullish it becomes, because this becomes a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where at the moment, what we are expecting is not this scenario. Okay, we are actually expecting one more little high, and then potentially the bear market can continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want one more leg here to the upside. Okay, and that's not actually so bullish. So everyone is screaming and shouting and saying we're going into a bear market. Okay, legends, I just want to keep it realistic over here and just look at the structure here to the upside. Is that even if Bitcoin hits $58,247, it is still a bullish structure. You have a low, you have a high, you have a higher high, and even if Bitcoin comes down to $58,000, guess what? You still have a higher low. The market structure is still intact. You are still forming higher highs and higher lows. So for everyone, and for the influencers out there and for the social media people out there saying that we are entering a bear market, okay, you are smoking your socks. Because there's a lot that needs to happen before we can call for a bear market. We can only officially call a bear market once we start changing market structure, especially on the larger time frames like the daily, the 12-hour and the weekly time frame. The only time that we can start calling for a bear market and say that the bull market is over is once we take this low. Once you take that low, guess what? Now we are changing market structure. Now you're forming a lower low. Lower low. You're most likely going to go up and form a lower high. And then I'm going to say, guys, once you see this, then we can say we start talking about bear markets here to the downside. But it really frustrates me when I see how communities are misleading their people, saying that we are going into a bear market. There is a lot that needs to happen. I mean, look at the 0.618 over here. Beautiful confluence with these highs. You can just imagine if price had to fall here, find support above the highs, 6 months, 7-month consolidation area here, strong support, you get the bounce back to the upside. Where's the bears then, right? Everyone's going to be bearish on the way down, calling for a bear market only to get that explosive move back to the upside. So all I'm trying to highlight here, legends, is that for those calling for a bear market, you need to go back to trading school Okay, you need to stop smoking your socks, because even if Bitcoin hits $80,000, $73,000, $66,000, $58,000, the bull market ain't over yet. Okay, right. Yes, legends, I saw, can you take a look at AR? I actually bought some AR this morning. I literally bought AR this morning. I will go and have a look at some of our favorite altcoins, but I mean, legends, I just have to point out that this is what I told my Legends, the Legends Pro community this morning, okay? Do you guys remember this on the 5th of August? What I saw today in the altcoin market reminded me of the 5th of August. I woke up on the 5th of August in the morning and I saw this, and I went altcoin shopping. And it did reward me handsomely, because if I go to a coin like Mr. Following over here, okay, and that was my biggest profit that I made was on, where is it? There we go. Right? Go and look at XRP, because I bought XRP, and I need to zoom in for this. Yeah, on the 5th of August. 5th of August, this is where I bought XRP. I got back into XRP after selling all my bags and buying other altcoins. Yeah, this is where I bought XRP, where no one wanted to touch an altcoin with a stick because they believed that we are going into a bear market, we're going to crash to the downside. I bought XRP over here, and I mean, what can I say? The rest is history. Look at where we are now. Even with a dump here to the downside, I'm still massively in profits, and I have taken profits here to the upside. Okay, on XRP. I actually used the profits from XRP to buy into other altcoins. Okay, but there was many more. There was also Ethereum that I bought on the 5th of August. There was a couple of altcoins that I went altcoin shopping like crazy on the 5th of August. And what happened yesterday, okay, is it reminded me of the 5th of August, specifically in terms of how aggressively the altcoins just tanked to the downside. Right, legends. So are we in a bear market? No, we are not. From a technical perspective, we are not in a bear market. Only once we claim this low am I going to say, right, now we are in a bear market. Okay, so, you know, sometimes you just need to zoom out to calm the nerves. Right, legends. So now, okay, let's zoom into this little structure and go and take stock of what we spoke about yesterday and how the scenarios are busy playing out. And before I do that, let me say hi to the beautiful community, go through some comments, and then we can dive into the technical analysis and also go and look at some of our favorite altcoins. Cool, let's go. I want to buy but don't have USDT, and I think that's that is a little bit of a sentiment all around. You know, everyone screams for buy the dip, but no one has dry powder lying around. But I mean, it is what it is, right? It's why I trade with good risk management. All of my swing trades got stopped out. I had a swing trade open on 𝗖𝗿𝗆, I got stopped out. But I told everyone on Rune, on 𝗖𝗍, and on AR, where I had my swing trades open, I told everyone I'm nibbling. I'm not going in with my entire portfolio at 10x leverage, okay? I had 2x positions open and I was slowly nibbling. And I will go through it again, what I said. I'm waiting for the trends to break before I will go aggressive. And until we have not broken the trends, I will not go aggressive. And then I got stopped out of Rune, I got stopped out of 𝗖𝗍, and I got stopped out of AR. Okay, AR and Rune, actually I got stopped out 2 weeks ago already, but 𝗖𝗍 got stopped out last night. But I have not lost my entire portfolio because of the stoppage, right? I actually bought a little bit more this morning to my spot bags because, I mean, dips for me are made for buying, especially if you're still in bull market territory. Right, legends, 𝗖𝗍𝗆 pumping. Yes, everything is getting that little recovery bounce here to the upside. What is 𝗖𝗍 doing? Yes, 𝗖𝗍 is pumping. I mean, it SFP'd. You know, interesting thing is, this is what I highlighted to the legends last night, danger zone. So I was looking at 𝗖𝗍 from the low to the high, okay, and I want to put it on the log scale. Okay, and last night, yesterday, okay, during my update to the Legends Pro community, we were trading here by the 786. We were over there. And I told the Legends my stop loss was glued to the low. I told the Legends, if, okay, this is the zone that needs to hold, the bulls have to defend this level for this structure to remain bullish. This is the zone that needs to be defended. As soon as we go into the danger zone over here, we are most likely going to hit the low. And we did. And we actually got a beautiful swing failure from the low. So whoever sniped this, if you sniped that SFP, I mean, I woke up a little bit late, price recovered too high already, and I don't FOMO into trades. Okay, I did add to my spot bag, but you put your stop loss below the low, you SFP this thing like a damn sniper, and I mean, you would now be massively in profits. Okay, that's already a 19, almost 20% recovery back to the upside. Beautiful swing failure pattern here from the low. Right, but that's basically the update that I provided last night to our Legends Pro community. Okay, what I also told the Legends Pro community, let's go back to the regular scale over here. Okay, this was my plan, and I stick to my plan. And if I get invalidated, it is what it is, because as traders, we always get stopped out, but we give the scenario the benefit of the doubt. I told the Legends Pro community, okay, this is where I'm nibbling. I nibbled. Can't remember exactly everywhere, but let's say I nibbled over there, I nibbled over there, I nibbled over here. Teeny weeny tiny positions, it's where I nibbled. But I told the Legends, once we break the trend, so if say had to turn over here and it broke the trend and it started consolidating outside of the trend, and especially if it takes that high where you're now changing market structure, higher high, higher low, that is where I get aggressive. That's where I add more serious capital to the position, because I'm looking for confirmation that the market is turning around. And as long as you're trading below the trend and you're making lower highs and lower lows, I just nibble. I didn't go aggressive at all. Got stopped out, right? Now I'm looking for the next trading opportunities, but I did go altcoin shopping this morning because that is part of my trading strategy. Okay, no financial advice. As always, no financial advice. And I just cannot let a good disaster go to waste. Dewald, I longed the SFP. Oh, yes. I mean, the Legends in the house, right? Whoever longed this SFP from the 0.88, $91,000, 400. I mean, what a beautiful entry, okay? I saw some of the pro members trading throughout the night with this little momentum that we had here to the downside. I mean, just look at how beautiful these Fibonacci's get respected. Currently getting the reaction at the 0.5. I mean, these Fibonacci's are absolutely amazing. But I mean, in essence, Mr. Crypto Big Brains, okay, that was definitely a long opportunity. Okay, 0.88 gang in the house. I know that we have the people calling themselves the 0.88 gang, okay, because these 0.88 levels are absolutely powerful. Right, you enter like a sniper with your stop loss below the low, and I mean, you should now, Mr. Crypto Big Brains, you should now be massively in profits. Okay, never let a good disaster go to waste. From a day trading perspective, I mean, there's still lots of money to be made here on Bitcoin. Okay, right, Legends, before we dive into the technical analysis, let me go through some more comments. Right. I invest in 1 month plan, the Legends Pro. I have to pay $997 for masterclass. No. If you have, I can't remember exactly the rule, but if you have an active subscription to our Legends Pro community, you should get access to the masterclass. Okay, you don't have to pay extra unless there's a minimum requirement. I just need to go and find out. Perhaps you need to be a member for at least 3 months and then you get access. I can't remember those requirements. I will get back to you. Okay, right. It was a night, remember, but I came out on top. Could have been worse. MT, hello Dewald, hope you had a nice weekend. Looking forward to your great tea. Yes, I had a fantastic weekend. I also did a short little live stream yesterday discussing the scenarios and why I don't see this move, where's my pen? I still, okay, and I'm sticking to my guns, not because I want to stick to my guns, but because that's what the technicals are telling me. I'm still sticking to my guns that this is not impulsive to the downside, meaning that we are going to get to that $66,000, $70,000 area that everyone is mentioning. I still don't see any impulsiveness in this structure. Okay. Right, we were talking about that contracting diagonal here to the downside. Yes, the third wave went a little bit deeper, but it's still intact. The scenario is still intact. Okay, right, so now, yep, 50% profits taking. That's what I love to hear, Mr. Crypto Big Brains, because as day traders, we pay ourselves, okay? Because we could reject here by the 50% Fibonacci level. And what if, okay, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Or what if this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Definitely a possibility to sweep up the lows. We have to acknowledge the fact that we have tapped the 0.88 increases the probabilities that at some point we are going to take the low. Never guaranteed, but it does increase the probabilities that this little bad boy over here, okay, is not looking good, right? So even with the pump here to the upside, there is still a high chance that we are going to come and claim the low because of the 0.88. And this probability plays out more often than not. Right, but it would be nice to come and grab that little box that I've got highlighted over there. The goal, the goal. And if we had to hit this level over here, I would have said, okay, maybe it's game over for the bears. Okay, maybe we have a chance. It's game over. And we're going to come down, make a higher low, and continue momentum to the upside. But we have to tap this level. We have to tap this level. As long as we do not tap this level, the bears are still in control, unfortunately. Okay, right. So let me take the comments here out the way. Alt started nimbling, but BTC is a catch-up short soon, like 5 August. Yes, we had BTC go down the next day, right? On the 5th of August, yeah, I mean, BTC on the 5th of August, I remember it like it was yesterday because I did altcoin shopping, yeah, okay? 5th of, wait, where we... I'm way in the wrong place over here, legends. 5th of August, there we go. Yes, we actually had another dump here to the downside. Okay, on the 5th of August, oh, sorry, no, I am smoking my socks. Legends, I am officially smoking my socks over here. Let me just find my bearings. 5th of August, there we go. 5th of August, yo. 5th of August, okay, we didn't take that low again. We did come down, but we didn't take the low again. This was the 5th of August. This little candle here was on the 5th of August. We recovered, we came back down, but we did not take the low. And then, you know, the rest is history. We just continued up from there. Okay? We just continued up. Right. Cool, legends. So let's do some technical analysis and let's go through the scenarios that we were keeping an eye on yesterday. So I can take this out the way. Okay, bearish case scenarios, legends. The one bearish case scenario that I spoke about yesterday was not this one, this one. No, not that one, this one. There we go. Right, I have adjusted it ever so slightly. I had this line a little bit higher. Okay, I had the line a little bit higher because I was expecting a move as such in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you can see that this wave went way lower, but it's still not invalidated. Okay, so this is still a scenario that I'm keeping an eye on. So all I did is adjusted the scenario in a contracting diagonal to the downside, where the 5th wave does take the low, which does make sense because we tapped the 0.88. Okay, we tapped the 0.88, increasing the probabilities that we're going to take the low in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, 4, 5. Okay, so this 4 now actually needs to move over here. And we could get one more leg here to the downside in a contracting diagonal, which for now still has the highest probability. Okay. So definitely still something that I'm keeping an eye on. And as I said yesterday, legends, the reason this does not look impulsive to the downside, which is this scenario that I have over here, okay, not that one, this one, okay. The reason I do not like this impulsive scenario that could potentially go down even to $80,000 is that if I look at this structure on the 4-hour time frame, okay, if I look at this wave 1, okay, this wave 1 over here, 1, then I have to count this as a W, X, Y, or an A, B, C, A, B. But anyways, the corrective structure is basically, okay, ends over here. The corrective structure ends over here in a C wave. So what is concerning about the structure is that this wave is incredibly short in time. The amount of days or hours that it took to create this wave compared to the time it took to form the second wave is out of balance, completely out of balance. I have my time fib over here, okay? And you guys will see when I take my time fib from the high to the low that we've made over there, okay, my maximum target that I have over here is a 4. And I can go put in the 5, the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10, 11. I don't bother about these levels because I know from a backtesting perspective that usually when you have an impulse and the corrective structure goes past the 4 extension, it's an invalidation. It no longer serves any high probability anymore, and the probability goes to like 1%. But it's still a probability, but it's very low. So in order to count 5 waves to the downside, I have to count it in this wave 1. Then what on earth is this in a second wave? It doesn't balance. This looks way better as a 3-wave structure, like I explained yesterday. Okay. This looks much better as a 3-wave structure. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Even the moment 1, 2, 3. Like the 3-wave structures just takes priority inside of this structure. It's very difficult to count 5-wave structures. And what you want to see for impulses to the downside is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3-wave corrective, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3-wave corrective, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, what on earth is that? Sideways corrective structure. You wanted to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have your corrective structure to the upside, and then we got this, okay? And also the balance between the impulse and the correction is out of whack. Completely out of whack, which leans in terms of the probabilities that this is not an impulsive structure to the downside. An impulsive structure is a dangerous structure. That is the type of structure that can take us below $80,000. Okay, and inside of this structure, I still cannot count impulses to the downside, even with the dump here to the downside, which makes me, okay, favor this position more. This one, not that one. I need to, right, there we go. Where you have basically formed a 1 wave in a 3-wave structure. 1, 2, 3. You have made a correction in a 3-wave structure. 1, 2, 3. You have now again made an impulse to the downside in a 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 in a 4th wave. And guess what? This is potentially the zone where it could reject, could, and go back down. Or the correction can still go a little bit sideways. But ideally, okay, when you draw a parallel channel, this is something that I want to show you guys from an education perspective, okay? When you draw a parallel channel, so let me take the top line out, you go and fetch your parallel channel over here and you connect these 2 lows. Okay, and you drag it to the upside. And let me just extend it. Okay, like such. So for a contracting diagonal, so this is parallel. Everyone agrees. This is a parallel channel, which means the lines are equally apart. Okay. As soon as this fourth wave taps the top of this channel, it is not a contracting diagonal anymore. Then you're starting to look at expanding diagonals, which are very rare and should only be looked at once all other scenarios has failed. Okay, so for now, the goal for this fourth wave to still, if it still needs to complete a fifth wave to the downside, this fourth wave is not allowed to tap the top of this channel. Okay, that is how you determine a contracting diagonal. So as long as you, from number 2, you can form a contracting move, okay, where the price is squeezing together, a downwards pennant, call it what you will, okay, a downward squeezing pennant, then it's a contracting diagonal in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be the end, and you start recovering back to the upside. And this then becomes your C wave. So if I zoom out, so what you're then basically looking at is a B, C, correction, done, and then the bull market continues back to the upside. Okay, once this little fourth wave taps the top of this channel, especially if it starts claiming the 0.618 when I take a fib from this high to the low, but basically once this fourth wave starts tapping this channel, it could also mean that the correction could potentially be done. And you're not going to make the fifth wave. You're not going to claim the liquidity below this low. You could potentially be forming WXY done. And what's also interesting about where we stopped, okay, where we actually stopped with this move here. So let me take this out the way and close this. Very interesting. Where did we stop? If I take a trend-based fib from the high to the lowest point in the structure to the highest point in the structure, look at where the price found support. 1.236, which is a 3-wave corrective structure target. Very common. 1, 2, 3-wave corrective structure target. 1.236, currently getting a nice little bounce here to the upside. Okay, so legends, let's quickly discuss we'll wrap up the bearish case scenario, and then I also want to go through some bullish case scenarios, because as technical traders we also have to, you know, consider, well, what if, just like what if the low is in and we're not going to take it again? There's a possibility that the low could potentially be in, but the fact that we did tap the 0.88, I am still leaning more towards the bearish case scenarios. So the bullish case scenarios that I'm going to present for me carries second highest probability. Okay, the bearish case scenario in terms of the contracting or even an impulse here to the downside. The other scenario that I was looking at is to say that, well, what if we're forming an impulse here to the downside? It actually has the same end result. Okay, it really has the same end result, where you have a 5-wave structure down in one. You have that terribly long corrective structure that doesn't make any sense. And this was now a 3rd wave here to the downside. Okay, and then when you take a fib from the high of 2 to the low that we've just made, tapping the 0.618 invalidates an impulsive structure, where you want to basically, 4th has to stop over here, and then you want to go back for a 5th impulsive wave to the downside. But this structure is very messy and it doesn't really make sense. But the one thing I want to point out is that where's the contracting? Not this one, this one. They both have almost the same outcome. So whether this is an impulse to the downside or whether this is a contracting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I expect the structures to come to an end below the low. So regardless of how you count it, they end more or less at the same place. So I don't care how you count it. It has the same result. You come to the same answer. Okay. Remember to smash up the like for the education. I hope you guys did not get wrecked with your portfolio. Haha, Rune is at the green. I'm sure everything is getting a nice little recovery bounce here to the upside. And remember, legends, down in the description of this video, okay, I've got weeks. Click on more. 50% off your trading fees, up to $20,000 sign-up bonus. All you need is an email and a password. So if you'd still like, if you still have the guts to buy some altcoins and play some trades here to the upside, Weeks is the exchange that I do it. I've got Bluffin also with an email and a password. And what's nice about these exchanges is that the more you trade, the more money gets airdropped into your account, which will help with future losses being stopped out and hopefully, you know, taking those profits and paying yourself as a trader. Okay, so legends, that can like to be the scenarios that I'm keeping an eye on over here. Okay, right. So from a bearish case perspective, I am still, you know, like I said yesterday during my live stream, it's still difficult for me to count this structure as a 5-wave impulse to the upside. It really looks 3-wavy. This really looks 3-wavy. This looks 3-wavy. This looks 3-wavy. And even this recent move up here looks a little bit 3-wavy. Okay, so lots of 3-wave structures, and 3-wave structures basically means that this is a corrective structure. It's not an impulsive structure to the downside. Okay, so that's the good news. In terms from a technical perspective, it looks like, you know, we even if we claim the low, we're most likely going to find support and continue momentum to the upside. Right, so this flash crash that we saw on many of the altcoins, for me, is a buying opportunity. Okay, and I'm saying for me because I'm not here to give financial advice. Right, and this is why I went some altcoin shopping this morning, and I bought a little bit more AR this morning as well, and a couple of others. Right, legends, let's quickly go through the bullish case scenario. Okay. We were also looking here at a potential BAT harmonic that was highlighted this morning. Okay, one of our pro members highlighted this BAT harmonic this morning, and I mean, it's definitely worth to have a look at. It is playing out at the moment, and it's also referred to as a reversal pattern. Okay, and a BAT pattern is basically harmonics. So when you go onto this little item over here, you will see that you have the first one there that says ABCD pattern. Okay, that is harmonic patterns, where you basically have a BAT pattern. You take the X from the low to the high, to the low, to the high, to the low. Okay, let me show you guys how I draw it. So let me take it out the way, and this is basically, you click on that little symbol and you click on the low, you click on the high, you click on the low, you click on the high, and you click on the low. Okay, that's basically how the BAT pattern works, right? And these are, and you can go and Google and search this yourself. There's also a little cheat sheet that you can go and search for, and I'm just gonna low light this quickly so I can show everyone. And there are your most common BAT patterns. You have a crab, you have a butterfly, you have the Gartley, which plays out very, very, very frequently on Bitcoin. It's the most common the most common harmonic pattern is your Gartley over here, but this one is the BAT because we tapped the 0.886. So from X to D, we tapped the 0.88. Okay, so from X to D, from X, you take a fib from the low to the high to the low, we tap the 0.88. Harmonic patterns are also referred to as reversal patterns. So this is now considering the bullish case scenario. What if the low is in and we're not going to claim it again? What if Dewald is talking about this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that never comes? Everyone is waiting for the low to be claimed and it doesn't get claimed. Okay, so then there is the scenario that I'm highlighting now, is to say that, well, there could be potentially a harmonic pattern playing out here, which is also a reversal pattern, which means that that is your low and price is going to start recovering. Okay. The rule for this pattern is usually the first profit taking area is taking a fib from your C point to your D point, and guess what? Your 0.618 is TP1, TP2, TP3. Then the harmonic is played out, and that is how you trade harmonic patterns. You get in at the 0.88 if you've identified the bat, because it's not allowed to go below the 0.88, TP1, TP2, TP3. Okay, when I trade harmonics, I take majority of my profits usually at the 0.618, because often what they do is they go to TP1 and then they fall down again. Okay, and this is why I like to close majority of my position over here, but it also has the potential to form a higher low, and it goes to the C point and the A point. Right, I don't think I've often discussed harmonic patterns here on my live stream, but they do play out often. I just need to get in that frame of mind to look for them more aggressively, because harmonics plays out everywhere. They play out on the 1 minute time frame, 15 minute, 1 hour, daily. You get them everywhere, especially the Gartley pattern. The only difference between the Gartley pattern harmonic and the bat harmonic is that the Gartley, okay, the D point is at the 786. There. Okay, more or less, which is actually for me a more bullish pattern, a more bullish reversal pattern, because you have an impulse, you have a three-wave corrective structure, you smashing a bullish bouncing target, and then the probabilities of claiming the C and the A point are higher. Okay, I'm not a big fan of the bat per se, the bat over here that taps the 0.88 to do a complete reversal because of how low the D point has gone. Okay, so just to point out, guys, that this is a reversal pattern, and for now it looks like it's playing out. The only issue that I see here on the bat pattern is ideally you want each wing, okay, each wing over here to be the same size in time. So if I take it, you can see that this wing is a little bit shorter, okay, than this wing in time. So when I take a time fib and I measure, well, how long was this wing, okay, compared to how long is this wing, you can see that, well, at least this low was made after the 0.382. But if prices still had to consolidate and chop around and it only hit the 0.88 over here, then you have a beautiful 1-to-1 extension. Okay, so which means that the wing will be better in proportion, it's a better balancing harmonic pattern, and it's nice to see the symmetry between the two, and the more symmetrical they are, okay, the better or higher the probability of them playing out. But at least this low, okay, just to acknowledge that the low was made after the 0.382, which is the minimum requirement for the harmonics. Okay, so based on what I've shown you over here, that there's a potential for this harmonic to play out, and there's maybe there's a chance that the low is in. I don't like it because it tapped the 0.88, but we have to entertain the scenario. What if, okay, the correction is done? What if? Okay. Then I'm looking at these scenarios over here. Let's do, okay. This one I think carries very low probability, where we basically are forming an impulse to the upside, where we have completed an impulse. This is the corrective structure, and we are now on our way to complete a third wave here to the upside. You can go and measure out the target. You take a fib, trend-based fib from the low to the high to the low, and around about $127,000 is where you want the third wave to start losing some steam, and it's also considered a minimum target. Okay, you go back for a fourth wave, and then you go back up for a fifth wave that could complete the bull market at $138,000. But it just has to be said that for me, for now, this scenario carries low probability, because I really struggle to count 5 waves inside of that structure. And also we have tapped the 0.88. So there's two things that counts against this scenario. Okay. Yes, I can potentially force a 5 count, and I've gone through a lot of detail yesterday explaining why I can still count 5 waves in the structure, but I feel like I have to force the count. Okay, and now also what you want to see, ideally what you want to see is for the second wave not to tap the 0.88. So when you take your fib from the low to the high, okay, it decreases the probabilities for this to be a wave 2, but it's not an invalidation, unfortunately. So this scenario can still play out, although it carries lower probabilities. But sometimes the low probability scenarios do play out. Okay, so I just have to highlight it to say that, well, guys, you know, we need to pay attention, because what if the low is in and we start rock and rolling here to the upside? We claim the high, smash it, smash 111, smash the 1.618, and I mean, these third waves can get very aggressive because it does not have to stop at the 1.618. It can go to the 2.618, it can go to the 3.618. So these third waves, they love 618 targets. They don't care what number is in front of it. Okay, but minimum you would expect $127,000. Okay, so just had to point that out. But I do think, okay, please hear me out, I do think that it carries low probability. Okay, and then do we have another one here to the upside? Then it's very, very, very early to talk about the scenario, and I'm going to keep it here on my list until the fourth wave is in. Okay, where we are basically ending this entire structure, okay, which is referred to as an ending contracting diagonal, where after an impulse to the upside, you have one more move that forms a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is an exhaustion pattern. It's also referred to as price is getting exhausted. There's no more buying pressure kicking in. People are getting bored, and right, you form your last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe you get lucky, you hit $129,000, maybe you hit $122,000, and price, then we go into a bear market. Okay, because it's an ending diagonal. An ending contracting diagonal means it's done, we're going down. Okay, and then we'll talk about scenarios over here once we get this 5-wave structure here to the upside. But I have to point out, it's a little bit early to talk about this scenario. Okay, it's a little bit early, because ideally what I like to do to talk about these type of scenarios is once the fourth wave. So if we had to come and claim the high and we come back down, okay, we swing failure from the high again, and then we make a higher low, and then once the fourth wave is in, the contracting ending diagonals gains in probabilities, and guess what, we're only here. So there's a lot that needs to happen before I can actually officially say that this scenario carries some probability. At the moment, it carries no probability, but it's something to keep in mind. So I will speak about it in future if the price action does follow this probability. But basically what needs to happen over here is that because you started the contracting diagonal with a 3-wave structure, because you started it with a 3-wave structure, every structure has to be 3 waves. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Done. You go down. You take the low and you go even down lower, maybe to the 618 at $68,000, $62,000. Right, but I mean, still very early to call for this scenario over here. Okay, cool, legends. Now that I have explained all the scenarios and what could potentially play out over here, now I want to zoom into the 1 hour, 15-minute time frame and go and look for the intraday scalping and confluence areas that I am still keeping in mind, where I want to take those shorting opportunities and those longing opportunities. Mr. Gold Star Crypto, hey, another low. Yes. Yes, welcome to Mr. Goldstar. Thanks for joining the live stream. Subscribe before this channel moons and you get FOMO. Harmonics love the 786 and 886. Yes, Dark Striker, they do. But I specifically like the Gartley more on the 786 level. Because usually when you have a 786 bounce, you know that, okay, the probabilities are higher that it's going to go and claim the C and the D point to the upside. Okay, the bat patterns makes me nervous because you tap the 0.88. They often make me nervous in terms of, can they really reverse the price? But I mean, harmonics are there to be traded. They play out often. If you're not familiar with harmonics, go and do some research. And you will quickly find them everywhere. And what I will also do is I will keep an eye. I will specifically pay attention to more harmonics and show you guys where I see harmonics potentially playing out, so we can start trading some harmonics together as well. I actually haven't traded an harmonic in a long time. I used to be harmonic crazy and I used to trade them all the time, and then, you know, my swing failure patterns starts taking priority, or I use a different trading strategy, and often you forget there's just too many trading strategies to keep track of. Okay, I'm a bull, but neglect I get upset when it don't crash harder. Peter, yes. I mean, I really, you know, for me, I actually want the low to be claimed. Okay, I think it's going to be a great buying opportunity. I really want the low to be claimed. I want us to come and smash this level. Okay, so if I take my magnet and snap it onto the range low over here, let's try that again. Okay, there we go. We have, I don't know why I deleted it, but I used to have a level over here and I name it the range low. Range low. Okay. These range lows, after an impulse to the upside, after you have a nice little punch to the upside, that first low that you make is a very powerful level, a very interesting level, okay? And they often, this is a different trading strategy, okay? You have an impulse to the upside, that very first low that you make, and then you chop around, you chop around, you chop around. When price comes back to that level, that is where you need to pay attention, because there's also a couple of rules that you can follow with this range low strategy. You want price to tap and go, okay? You have your stop below the low, you enter like a sniper. As soon as price moves in your favor, you protect your position, because the rules of the strategy is simple. It's only allowed to tap the line once. If it taps it, if it pumps and it comes back up and it taps it for a second time, it increases the probabilities that you're coming to fill the inefficiency. So this line needs to hold for the bulls to stay in control. And it's also, you know, that $85,000 area. It's a very juicy area to the downside. Loads of liquidity below these lows. Okay, so it would be nice to form that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and grab that liquidity, tap this level, and then get the bounce to the upside. So it would really be nice to, so if I had to have my way, I would love for price to actually come to $85,000, because I know exactly what to look out for and how to trade this scenario with good risk management. You also have the trend. I mean, you know, there's a lot of confluence with that scenario. Let me see if I still have it drawn out over here. Ooh, okay, the range low. There's the range low. I just want to see my trends. Okay, let's do the trend. Take a trend from that low. It's a very interesting scenario, because if I connect these two lows, okay, you have diagonal support, you have the range low, you have the 50% Fibonacci. Like there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of support in this zone. So if price had to, you know, make that contracting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to be paying attention. I'm going to be paying attention, because I can just imagine how many people are going to play the breakdown, the breakout traders. Oh, we've lost the trend. Okay, if it had to come down here, it breaks the trend. Oh, we've lost the trend, but guess what? Horizontal support and resistance always takes preference over diagonal support and resistance. Well, we've broken the trend. Let's short, let's short, let's short. We put our stops above the high over there. It finds support and it reverses. Stops everyone out over there that tried to short this little bad boy. Okay, very interesting scenario that I will be keeping an eye on. Right, also then from a simplicity perspective, okay, zooming into this structure, you guys can now see, well, okay, we have lost. I was hoping, well, and and this is also where we're getting the resistance now at the moment. If I look at this entire structure, let me just zoom in to show everyone. Okay, we've had resistance, 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 lost it. Okay, resistance, came back up, lost it. Resistance, 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 tried again, failed. Resistance, tried again, support. That was the moment. That was the moment the bulls needed to claim the high. And we rolled over. Guess what? Now we bounced on this support over here. Okay, so I'm trying to show everyone from an Elliott wave perspective, a very technical way of analyzing the chart. This is now from a simplicity perspective, is to say that while I'm looking at the chart purely from a support and a resistance perspective, you have lost support. You broke down. You found support at the next zone where you can see support, 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 and now you found support again. It's going to be a hard nut to crack over here. So this is definitely potentially an area where price is going to get rejected because you lost it. You lost it. Now you're coming back. You're retesting the scene of the crime. And guess what? You could come back again. So this is purely from a support and resistance perspective. So for the bulls, what they need to do, they need to break through, flip this into support for continuation to the upside. So you need to see a breakout over here for the bulls to take control. It has to see a breakout. Like what happened over here. It needs to break out. Flip it into support because now this box used to be green and now it's red again because this is now resistance that needs to be cracked over here and price is now reacting. It's struggling there at the moment. Right. Sorry, legends. I sometimes forget to take the comments off the screen. 𝗬𝗍𝗿𝗍, welcome to the live stream. BTC pumping back up. Yes, it is. Right. Dewald, I bought $15 grand worth of Ondo on the crash. Yeah, I mean, Ondo is actually looking pretty good, but some of the altcoins are also looking really, really interesting. And it does remind me of the 5th of August last year. Okay. I'll be back. Good luck. Thank you so much for joining, Stefa. Hey buddy. Do we have a Discord Legends? Do we have 2 Discord community, Legends and Legends Pro? Yes, the Legends is the free Discord, and the Legends Pro is the where you pay a monthly subscription. Okay. Lost 6k in that drop when I should have spent it on the Legends community. It is what it is, right? Anyone in need of some tissues for drying your tears, study the alpha in this channel and there will be no more tears if you're able to keep up the discipline. Absolutely true, Rudy. I mean, I hammer on risk management so often. When I enter a swing trade and I tell everyone that I've entered a swing trade, I tell them where my invalidation is. So perhaps something that I need to start doing is not tell anyone when I enter a trade and just keep it educational. Because the one thing that I have noticed is that when I tell people that I have a trade open here or I have a trade open there, I have often found that people go too aggressive in those trades because Dewald is in the trade. So maybe by me just shutting my mouth will actually protect a lot of people from losing money. So definitely something that I'm thinking about. How are you, Dewald? I'm absolutely amazing. Thanks for joining the live stream over here. Junior, if you love free education, then you'll love this channel. Yes, definitely hit that like button. And right, how many likes do we have? 86 likes. Whoa, the like button is as bearish, is just as bearish as the price of Bitcoin last night. Okay. Ricky, hi Dewald, what settings do you have for your FIPS? How do you get that 0.88 in there? I mean, I don't mind sharing that. Okay, so let me share my settings. You can take a screenshot of that. So I'll just keep it open here for a brief second. You can go and take a screenshot. That is how I get the 0.88. And also, if you want my trend-based FIB extension settings, there you go. You can take a screenshot. There's my trend-based FIB extension settings. You can go take a screenshot and use that. Right. Okay, right, legends. No, don't tell us when you're in a trade. People need to manage properly. No, don't tell us when you're in the trade. Yes, 𝗬𝗫𝗃, I'm leaning towards that side as well, because, you know, I've gotten messages from people that took some trades that I were in where I lost 0.03% of my capital. Some people lost half of their capital, all of their capital, in the exact same trades that I was in. So, you know, I'm really considering not telling people when I enter trades and just saying, this looks good, this is the invalidation, this is what I would do in this situation. No financial advice, because it seems that, you know, when I tell people when I'm entering a trade or when I'm inside of a trade, people go too aggressive. They don't manage their risk. They go in with the entire portfolios, and then I get really nasty messages when I get stopped out of a trade. I really get like stupid, nasty messages, and you know, it's not nice for me to see how people are burning their accounts on trades that I entered with good risk management, not risking more than what I can afford to lose. Where people go into, I can just imagine the 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗍 trade. Okay, it's a trade that Andy spoke about as well. I told everyone, there's my invalidation. I told everyone I've got a swing trade and I'm nibbling here at the lows. Okay, I'm adding ever so slightly to my position. And then I also told everyone, okay, once price breaks the trend, this is where I will get more aggressive, especially if it takes the high and it comes back down. That's the area where I will get specifically a little bit more aggressive, deploy more capital. Okay, and we didn't get that. So I didn't deploy more capital. I was not aggressive and I got stopped out. Some people over here went in with their entire portfolio at 7x leverage. They have been liquidated. They have got no more money to trade with. So, you know, I'm really thinking about not telling people when I enter trades anymore, because although I am practicing good risk management, community members, and I'm not saying it's everyone, I'm just saying some people just go into aggressive. Okay. Right, legends, there's a small interesting trend here to the bottom as well that I'm tracking. Okay, very small interesting trend here to the bottom. I think, you know, just trying to catch the breakout before the breakout. I'm not going to tell people, you know, where I'm entering. I can tell you what the plan is, right? You want to close some high time frame candles below this trend, because if the low is in and it breaks out, that's potentially a great buying opportunity. You want to see some high time frame candle closes above, because I potentially want a nice entry over here before the breakout over here. But if I trade over here and it hits this trend, that's already a profit taking area for me. If it breaks out, by all means, I can add back into my position. Okay, so I can share with you guys how I would have traded the scenario, perhaps without telling you that I am trading the scenario. Right, let's go. You can't get in on a trade while creator is recording. It's too late typically. Exactly, Zen. I agree with you. Sometimes when I tell people I'm in a trade, it's already run away. Okay, like AR, for example. I'm actually too scared to say it. I'm actually too scared to say it. Okay, let's go and have a look at AR quick. AR USDT. Okay. I mean, let's go on to the 8 hour. Okay. Myself and Andy actually spend a lot of time over the weekend analyzing this. Okay. I had a swing trade. Yeah, this is where I had a swing trade. That was my stop loss. And we were coming and we were tumbling down here. And I opened up a small little swing trade. Small little swing trade. And I had my trend. Okay. And I added and I added. I nibbled in this area with my clear invalidation. And then I got stopped out of the swing trade. And we did get a successful SFP, like you can see over there. Let me zoom in, take the scribble out the way. We did get a successful swing failure from the low. Okay, beautiful swing failure from the low where I got stopped out. Okay, and it rampaged here to the upside. But guess what? It still did not break the trend. Didn't break the trend. Okay, it looked like it wanted to break the trend, but it didn't. Okay, so even if I drag it down a little bit like such, price for a brief moment, okay, hit the top of the trend over here for a brief moment, but it didn't close any high time frame candle closes above. So if you played the SFP from the lows, I can only tell you what I would have done. If I played the SFP from the lows, as soon as we tap that trend, that is a profit taking area, especially if you do not close any high time frame candles above, which we did not. We only left wicks behind. Here on the 8-hour time frame, we only left wicks behind. No bodies closed above the trend. Nothing. And then, bam, it fell here to the downside. Okay, so I mean, that, you know, it just teaches you, that's why it's so important to take profits to the upside. If price broke up and it consolidated above and it started closing high time frame candles above, and I mean, if it claims that high, even better, it breaks out, it claims the high, you wait for the retracement. Okay, that is usually a great load up zone. It comes back, maybe even it taps here the trend, but guess what? You now have a higher high, okay, and you are potentially going to form a higher low, and then you rock and roll. This is where I get aggressive. So if I took profits over here and we broke out, okay, I sit in my hands, I wait for the retracement, I will add back into my position, and then, you know, profit taking area again over there, and I follow the same process. Basically, that's what I do. Right, but AR did not break the trend successfully. So because AR did not break the trend successfully, my rule for a trend line, if you take the low and you don't break out successfully, I adjust my trend. Now my trend is over there. Okay, so you know, these are the risk management rules that I follow from a trading perspective. And although I preach it here on the channel, there's still a lot of people struggling with it and not following the rules. And I will keep on teaching because it's my passion, okay? Because I want you to be successful. Hopefully, after you've been burned and you've lost and you've been liquidated, okay, you will be like, okay, no, I now need to work on my risk management. But I do know that there's a lot of people in here, especially some of the pro members that are practicing exceptionally good risk management. Right, legends. So why did I buy? Okay, so I bought a small little, I added to my spot bags. I'm not in a trade. I added a little bit to my spot bags on AR over here. Okay, and I will continue to buy up the dips because that is what I do from a spot bag perspective. I am not in any swing trades at the moment. All stopped out. I am now just adding from a dip, by the dip perspective, I am buying the dips. Okay, I really like this dip, by the way, and you might be looking at the structure and say, wow, Dewald, why did you buy this dip if we tap the 0.88? Are you crazy? Why did you buy that dip? Well, it's because I like to look at a chart from different perspectives. Because if I go onto the logarithmic scale, the picture changes a lot. The picture changes a lot. And let me just take all these trends here out the way, legends, just to clean up the chart. Because I was just trying, all I was doing over here was trying to count the corrective structure. Okay, so let me take all these trends out the way. The reason I bought over here is because we tapped the 0.618 on the log scale. Also support above the highs. Okay, it looks really great. Also, when I measure out the corrective wave structure from a trend-based FIB perspective, from the high to the low to the high, we have now tapped the 1-to-1 extension. Let me just drag it a little bit across, which is a 1-to-1 extension over there in alignment with the 0.618. Okay, so for me, technically, when I see something hits the level that I'm interested in, this is what I love. This is what I love to see. Right, legends. My favorite live stream was when you took a live trade on BTC. We were all looking at and talking about. Yes, Watcher. I remember that day as well. I have done a couple of live trades here in the live stream as well. And you know, if there is an opportunity during the live stream, I will tell you guys, okay, here's the opportunity. I see it. This is where I'm entering. This is how I want to see it play out. So if there is an opportunity, I will definitely let you guys know. Okay, and so we can all trade together and learn together with good risk management. But I mean, I am nervous about it because I know how aggressive some people get. Okay, I know that Andy actually did a successful live trade inside of his live stream today. He did a successful live trade. But I mean, so legends, just to wrap it up here on Mr. AR, what I like about AR, okay, from all the altcoins that I've gone through my list, is that I love this bullish structure. Love it, love it, love it. And this low is still very far away from that low. It is now only at the 0.618 from a logarithmic perspective. Okay, so it still has a lot of breathing room for me. And, you know, impulse, correction, chop, 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 it's gonna turn around at some point. Okay, and this is why I'm still adding to my spot bags, but I have an invalidation from a spot bag perspective. Right, I know it looks very messy because I went crazy measuring out all the waves and things over here, but I mean the 1.236 also looks juicy. Okay, so if it does not find support over here and it chops and it comes back down, I like the 1.236 as well, because if this is an ABC or whether this is a WXY, the 1.236 and the 1-to-1 extension are very common corrective structure targets. 1-to-1 is a C wave target. 1-to-1 is a Y wave target. 1.236 is a C wave target. It's also a Y wave target. So this zone looks very interesting to me. Very, very, very interesting. Okay, cool. So now, right, Dewald, how do you handle high volume times at the beginning of East trading time? I do not trade, well, let me call it that way. Trading sessions from a country perspective is not part of my trading style or strategy. I trade the price action in front of me. If I have an area of confluence and I see the price action that enables me to enter the trade, I don't care if it's the Asia session or this session or that session, I don't care. Okay, I enter the trade with good risk management. I know that you do get trading strategies specifically geared towards those session tradings, but it's not my style of trading. Okay. Yes, Andy did live trading today. I saw it. Okay, I've gone through that. Rune is back above 1.4 level. I mean, Rune is absolutely took a massive dump here to the downside, and now it looks like it's the one with the biggest recovery back to the upside. Okay, now that it's flushed everyone out, now it wants to be bullish. Now Rune wants to play ball. Okay, look at that. Okay, and this is on the log scale. So even though Rune is making an effort, a massive effort here to the upside, you have to remember, once you tap the 0.88, you increase the probabilities of taking the low. So yes, it can still gain some momentum. Another scenario that I see play out often is once you tap a 0.88, price likes to retrace back to the 0.618 and the 50%. Okay, which is also retesting that trend, and then it takes the low. So if I go back to the regular scale, the scale that everyone trades, it looks even worse. Okay, Rune is almost at the low. It is way past the 0.88 already. So it looks like it's just a matter of time before it's going to take that low. Okay, so if you did trade the low over here and you are in profits, okay, there's a chance you can keep an eye on this trend. This is the trend that I was tracking since, actually since 6th of Jan. I've been tracking this trend here to the downside. And this was also the scenario that I told everyone, is that I will only get aggressive on Rune because I was in a position over here with my stop below the low. I think I added 3 times. I can't remember exactly. And then eventually I got stopped out. And I also told everyone, only once we break trend am I going to get aggressive on Rune. And if you only stuck to this rule, okay, you would not have been stopped out. Or if you stuck to the rule in terms of, I will only enter Rune once we break the trend. And if you did not enter Rune because we did not break the trend, you wouldn't have lost any money. Okay, I got stopped out there, so I lost some money here on Rune, but I did not add, okay, to my position. I'm not adding to my position. Okay, cool, legends. What else? Do we have some altcoin requests? Any altcoin requests? Let's see. Let's go through some more comments. Can you look at Rune? I have just looked at Rune. Okay, doesn't look great at the moment. What is happening with XRP? 50% long wick. Yes, I mean, most of the coins got that little recovery week back to the upside. I looked at ETH as well. ETH, I mean, what a recovery week here to the upside. Absolutely okay, wait. Let me just clean it up. I know it looks like a mess. I was doing some counts like a crazy maniac this morning. Okay, let me just clean up the chart. Right. Yesterday during my stream, and I mean, this caught me off guard, right? We were trading, I can't remember exactly where we were trading. We were trading over there, if I remember correctly. We were over there. Okay, and I said, okay, it has a chance to claim the lows as long as it can hold this level. It has a chance for breaking out, but it has to hold this level. If it comes down and claims the low, this is the area that I want ETH to find support, and we lost it. It literally smashed through this consolidation area like a hot knife through butter. Absolutely incredible. I mean, you have a value area high, you have the point of control, you have the value area low. It literally smashed through this entire area like it didn't exist. Absolutely crazy. Okay, and it bounced here on the trend. Ironically, it bounced there on the trend. So if I zoom in and take the scribble out the way, go onto the daily time frame, okay, and you just track the momentum here to the upside. Bounced beautifully here on the trend. Also a swing failure from that low. Okay, ever so slightly a swing failure from that low. Literally just tapped it, bounced on the trend, and now it's almost trading above this level over there. It's been, you know, it looks like a massive buying power is kicking in here at the moment. Was this the moment, right? You just have to, you just have to think for yourself, like, was this a flash to wipe out retail so that the whales can buy in? Was this a move to scare the crap out of retail, flash them out, stop them out, liquidate their accounts because perhaps, just maybe, there's a massive move incoming for ETH. And this was a shakeout, a massive shakeout event. You just, they had their stop losses over here. Some had their stop losses over here. And you just say, stuff you, let's wipe them out. And now let's go back up. Okay. Right, so I mean, we are holding the trend. Home buys are usually the best buys, and now we just have to start trading above this level. If ETH can start trading above, okay, I mean, the high chance that low could be in. And I'm not sure if anyone was able to catch this little low over here. Beautiful trade, beautiful trade. Okay, this is where I bought ETH, by the way. This is where I bought ETH on the 5th of August, was right over there. Had the nice rampage here to the upside, and then now I'm back at, I was back at entry, now I'm back in profits on my spot bags. Right. Say I have gone through Say. It was a 5-minute wick, devs a bit, if okay, exactly what I was thinking for ETH. Right, what else? What is the ratio for your decision to open a trade between technical analysis versus rumors, news, manipulation, predictions, logic, history? I'm still at 50-50. For me, it is purely based on technicals. I do not trade fundamentals at all. I only trade technicals because often the technicals will tell you a story before the news comes out. So if I, for example, go back here onto the price of Bitcoin, okay, and we spoke about this scenario yesterday where I was speaking about the scenario for me that still carries the highest probabilities is to form a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was looking at a contracting diagonal like such. But then the dip just went a little bit deeper. And it's no problem for me, okay? This was my highest probable scenario, okay? But I was expecting a third wave to the downside. I didn't know where the third wave was going to end. I had my support boxes over here, and based on the price reaction at those levels, I would have made a call to enter a long or just sit on my hands or get stopped out. Well, I was sleeping during that time, so I didn't take any trades. And all that happened basically is that we okay, the diagonal is now a little bit more steeper, potentially. So we're still forming the contracting diagonal. And what I'm trying to say over here is when I'm expecting a certain scenario to play out, so we come back down, we make the second wave, and I'm expecting a third wave, okay? I will talk about the third wave here on the live stream and say, guys, I'm expecting a move to the downside in a third wave. I don't know how explosive it's going to be or where it's going to end, okay? And then the price dumps and it makes a third wave, like it did yesterday, and then the news comes out telling you why it dumped. But from a technical perspective, we already knew that there was a high probable chance that it's going to dump. So the technicals tell me what's going to happen before the news comes out, and this is why I like to trade technicals only. I only trade technicals. I don't look at fundamental news. I hope that makes sense. Okay, mana.eth took the low of after 𝗖𝗿𝘆𝗽𝗫 touch. This is amazing. We'll love to hear ETH analysis. Okay, I've already gone through the ETH analysis. I will do a little bit of a deep dive. So one thing that I just still want to point out on ETH is if ETH, okay, let's go here onto the daily time frame. And I have an Elliott wave scenario, actually. That was my bullish one, and this is my bearish one. Okay, so all I want to point out over here, guys, ladies and gentlemen, is if ETH does not hold this zone where it is right now, I can look at the structure as a potential W, X, Y that is not finished. And the Y target, the first target for a Y wave is at the 0.618 at $1,644. So if ETH loses the momentum here to the upside, it does not find strength where it is right now. It does not find strength here. Maybe it goes back up, it forms a lower high, it falls back down. This is the zone that I will be paying attention to. $1,644. Then you have completed a W, X, Y corrective structure, and the 0.618 is a Y wave target. Okay, the 121 and the 1.236 are also Y wave targets, but I'm not going to talk about those two levels because you can see, I mean, $119 ETH doesn't make any sense. Minus 800 doesn't, like these two targets just doesn't make any sense. So this is the most logical target that I see over here for a WXY. So worst case scenario, I see $1,600. Okay, or the corrective structure is done where it is right now, bounced on the trend like it's done many times before. This is the low. It starts trading above and it breaks out, and then off to the races we go. Okay, so for the bulls, you want this low to hold. For the bears, $1,644. I just want to see how it changes on the lock scale. Okay. Actually, no. Okay, no, the regular scale actually looks way better. Right, there is I don't like that the X wave, you know, I would actually like this scenario to get invalidated. I want the scenario to get invalidated, and the reason the scenario carries low probability for me to go to $1,600, okay, is if I take a fib from the high to the low and I drag it across, you can see that this X, okay, this X over here, okay, tap the 786. And it does decrease the probabilities of a WXY when the X taps the 786. So there's a chance that the low could be in and the scenario is invalidated and ETH is going to start finding strength back to the upside. So just to spend a little bit more time here on the ETH analysis. Okay, what is Bitcoin doing? Are we rejecting? Are we tapping the 0.618? What is cooking over here? And remember, legends, first link down in the description is where I trade on weeks, okay? 50% discount on your trading fees. Money gets airdropped into your account as you trade. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. I also have Bluffin. The more you trade, more money gets airdropped into your account. These are my two favorite exchanges that I use at the moment. Just want to see, okay, I actually closed those tabs. I wanted to see how my AR position is doing. Let's quickly look at CVD over here. Okay, currently getting the rejection. Okay, I don't see any weakness just as yet, but I mean, we did tap that 50% FIP level, struggling to get above. Okay, definitely a rejection point. If Bitcoin successfully rejects from this zone over here, okay, that's actually the zone. Let's just zoom in. Yes, because that's your 2. This is 1, 2. Okay, I'm not going to count this structure here to the downside, but basically what you need to do is take your fib from number 2, from that high to the low. If we tap the 0.618, you increase the probabilities ever so slightly that this could be the low for now. Could. But I do not like that we tap the 0.88 from this pivot, which increases the probabilities that you're going to take that low. So really not an easy place where the structure finds itself in. Okay, if we get a successful rejection without tapping the 0.618 and it starts falling here to the downside, okay, doesn't find support over here by this order block that we just created. Okay, what you want to see basically is your trend needs to be broken to the upside to invalidate the bearish case scenario. So for now, this bearish case scenario is still on the cards to take the low, maybe bounce here at $85,000. And then we get the leg to the upside. So basically it means that, you know, some of these altcoins, if dominance doesn't drop, oh, that's another interesting thing I wanted to have a look at. Okay, so on dominance, I have adjusted my pennant, rightfully so. Okay, if I connect these little pivots over here, you can see that it perfectly connects with that pivot over there. I've also adjusted my trend, okay, used to be over there to the high. Okay, so now I have a tap and 2 taps over there. I have 3 taps over here and I have a tap over there. So the pennant is still valid. I've adjusted my pennant. And what's interesting to note over here is that if dominance fails to claim this area, okay, and close a daily candle above, okay, this could potentially be the top for dominance. So I mean, the altcoins has taken a massive dump here to the downside. Dominance spiked up aggressively, but it's now trading below. It's trading below the trend. It's here at the moment. If we can close the day and leave the wick behind, that is a bearish sign. That is a sign of weakness. You've also, look how you're struggling to claim the high over here. Okay, so if we can close tomorrow with the wick left behind, and I mean even better if we can close below this high over here, okay, that could mean that the top for Bitcoin dominance is in, and it can maybe chop, and then, you know, break it and fall to the downside. But this could potentially be the formation of the top being in, depending on how the daily candle closes over here. Okay, there was a lot of love that went into Bitcoin, and I mean, you know, which basically tells you that those lows that was made on many of the altcoins could potentially be in. Right. Swingbacks. Yes, Bitcoin dominance wrecked the swingbacks. I agree with you. I agree with you. Right, legends, that is unfortunately all I have time for. Remember to smash up the like button. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go through all the altcoins. Remember to smash up the like button. Weeks for 50% discount on your trading fees. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers for now.